All right, shalom again, everyone. Back again for another Arab Shabbat study. Tonight's study is seemingly straightforward, nothing we are new to. However, it has been laid on my heart for the past few weeks to revisit this topic. And usually, when that happens, Yahweh is going to identify something that we are guilty of, things that we need to straighten out, things that we thought we had down pat, but apparently we don't. So we're going to revisit the food laws, the dietary laws, as some would say. Are we not going to get into um the controversy that Christianity raised about whether or not these laws have been abolished and all of that madness? We've addressed those, and those presentations are already on the YouTube page under the dietary laws part one and part two, where we look at all of the controversial scriptures. And I put controversial in quotation. So anyone is interested in that, where we look at the New Testament and what Paul said about all the clean animals and all of these things, you can go and watch those presentations. We're not going to be doing that tonight. So we're going to look at the food laws. And I want everyone to pay keen attention. And I want everyone to focus and to be in tune with the word. And I decided I'm going to, without just taking the information and drop it in your lap, I deliberately left off a research portion that I was doing. And I said I'm going to put it in the homework. So you guys do the research yourself and come across the information. Maybe you'll appreciate it more when I do it yourself. But anyway, let's get into it. So the food laws, we are what we eat. Anybody ever heard that phrase before, that adage, you are what you eat?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not the only one who've heard that before. You are what you eat. Let us see if that is actually biblical or scriptural. So in Genesis 1:29 to 30, Elohim said, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food. So according to Genesis chapter 1, every plant that yields a seed, once a seed is in the plant, it is for food. Every tree whose fruit yields seed, so it must yield a seed. And when you plant that seed brings back the very tree that you took the seed from. And to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping creature on the earth for which there is a living soul, a living being, every green plant is for food. So animals and humans ate from vegetation, plants, trees. Then we go to Genesis 2, 9 to 10 and 16. Out of the ground, Yahweh Elohim made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. So the trees are pleasant to the sight and they are good for food. So when you say it's good for food, then it means then that you have trees that exist that are not good for food, right? Is that so or is it not so?
Right.
For example, the tree of knowledge of good and evil that was not good for food. When Adam was thrown out of the garden and he saw thorns and thistles, those are not good for food. So there are trees that exist on the earth that are not good for food. So we can't say that every tree is for food because it tells you the category of tree that is good for food. Everybody following that? No. Go over it again.
Yes, sorry, because I was writing. Yes. Somebody in the chat said go again.
All right, let's go again. Genesis 1:29 to 30. I have given you every plant that yields seed. Yield seed means that the seed is in the plant itself. And you can take that seed, plant it, and get back the same tree. I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. So the tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it is for food. So the plant that yields seed will be like callaloo. The tree whose fruit yields seed will be like mango. So you don't eat the mango tree. You eat the mango that comes from the tree, and within the mango is a seed. You follow that?
Mm-hmm.
But you eat the callaloo, and the callaloo is the tree. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Verse 30. To every beast of the earth, same thing. So man and beast ate green plants, vegetation, plants and fruits. Then we go to Genesis 2, verse 9 to 10 and 16. Out of the ground, Yahuwah Elohim made every tree grow. We know that every tree come from the ground, right? No tree no come from the sky, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm not tired of me already. Out of the ground, Yahuwah Elohim made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the tree of life in the midst of the garden and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So are we in agreement that there are some trees that grow on the earth that are not necessarily good for food?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Because some trees, if you eat it, it poison you, don't?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean that because Yahuwah make trees and the trees are
Mm-hmm.
good, pleasing to the sight, doesn't mean that it is food, right?
Yeah.
There's a classification that makes the tree considered as food. And if the tree does not fall within that classification, then we cannot take it and eat it and call it food. So you go.
Yep. So, yeah.
All right. Genesis 6:21. Well on. Verse 16 of chapter 2. Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, because him already give you. So what you find, how Yahweh does this thing, he tells you what is considered as food, and then after he classifies food, then he tells you to eat freely of every tree, because I already told you the trees that are considered food. So if I told you in chapter 1 which set of trees and plants are considered food, then I come back in chapter 2 and I tell you, eat freely of every tree. Are you going to eat from a poisonous tree?
No.
No, because I already told you what is food. For example, you have your house, you put food in the fridge, and you put toiletries in the bathroom. You tell your child, eat from the kitchen. Food is in the kitchen, so eat from the kitchen. If the child goes and eat from the bathroom, who is wrong? The child, because you already let the child know where food is stored, where you can go and find food. So if you go to the bathroom and go eat toilet paper, then that is your business. All right,
Okay.
Genesis 6:21. As for you, take off all food that is eaten, you see it say? Take off all food, because a lot of persons like to use this and say, is any animal. Yahweh said, take off all food that is what? That is eaten. So he's telling you the food that I tell you, the things that I tell you should be eaten. That is where you take your food from. Gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. The them there are the animals that would have been brought into the ark with Noah. So Yahweh said, gather all the food you can gather, because you are going to be in this structure for a long time, and you're going to need food for yourself, your family, and for the animals. So take off all food that can be eaten. Everybody following so far?
So far,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Genesis 7, 1 to 3. Yahweh said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your family, because I have seen that you are righteous
This
before me
meeting
in
is
this
being
generation.
recorded.
Of all the clean beasts, take with you 7 pairs of all the what?
Clean beast.
Clean beast. I wonder what I mean by clean beast. Take with you 7 pairs, a male and a female, and of the beasts that are unclean, 2 pairs, or 2, a male and his female. And of the birds of the heavens, 7 pairs, male and female, to keep offspring alive on the face of all the earth. Now, why is 7 pair of clean beasts and only 2 pair are unclean?
And then go and need something to eat. Not the ark.
Oh, you're speculating.
Mhm.
Genesis 8, verse 20. Noah built an altar to Yahweh and took off every clean beast and of every clean bird and offered ascending offerings on the slaughter places. So somebody can say him carry them because of the offering. Because if it's 7 pair and him in there for 1 year. Then again, a man probably argue and say them reproduce not the 1 year with them doing the ark. You know, so? Because
Could
for
be.
example, goat drop all 2 times for the year, no?
Me not know, sir.
What do you
One
mean by
time.
no, sir? 2 times
One
and
time.
drop for the year. Year one
Anytime
and
they
drop
drop
1
two
time.
time, anytime they drop 2 time, a man fit fool around them.
All right. No matter, then drop. Genesis 9, verse 3. Every creeping creature that lives is a food for you. I have given you all as I gave the green plants. And Genesis 9, verse 3 is a very tricky scripture for a lot of people. Not for us, but for a lot of people. So it seems as if Yahweh is saying anything where you want to eat, you pray over it and yam, don't it?
Yeah.
If you take this at face value, every creeping creature that lives is food for you. We're going to break down that verse, so don't worry yourself. So we want to focus on the word clean that we just uncovered a while ago, because we saw Noah being told clean beast, and then we saw when you come out of the ark, you take the clean beast and the clean bird. So if you have clean beast and clean bird, then you have unclean beast and unclean bird, right?
Yes.
So look at the word for clean. The word for clean is tahor. Tahor. And when they say unclean, is lo tahor. Lo is not. So it's basically not clean. So clean. When you look at the ancient Hebrew lexicon now, it means contain in the concrete and a wall in the abstract. It is a wall that contains one for protection or as a jail. It also means to watch or a target as aimed at. Prison, a place watched and surrounded by walls. Clean in the abstract means to clean, to purify, to purge. Thus, unclean would mean not contained, not walled, not watched, not targeted, not in prison, not clean. Now, what do you know about clean animals based on this definition that you see here? Does it make sense? Does it ring any bell for you? Huh? No? The beasts that are commanded to be eaten in the Torah, those are the kind of animals that you keep in pen. Those are the
To the
kind of
Torah.
animals that you watch. Those are the kind of animals that you target, you hunt. Somebody said they are treated better than the unclean. That is true. So there's a wall. So you see how Hebrew carries everything full circle? Just the word for clean make you kind of give you an understanding of what animals would fall into that category. Genesis 7 verse 2. See it here? Of all the clean beasts, take with you 7 pairs. And so the word here, terror, male and female. We read it already. Genesis 8:20. Built a slaughter place, and he took up every clean beast and every clean bird. Now the Hebrew word for food is okel or akal. Okel, akal, same thing. Food, eat. The Hebrew word for eat is akal. Same word. Same spelling. Aleph, Kaf, Lamed. In the ancient Hebrew lexicon, it comes from a word which means to be complete or to be whole. An animal or land that is tamed for the yoke. Tame for the yoke. What kind of animal you know people tame and put a yoke on?
Ox.
Ox. An animal or land that is tamed has been worked and is complete and ready to use. Taming include construction of holding pens. So we see the pen come back around again when you talk about food. So a while ago we look at clean. Now we're looking at food and we see the same kind of meanings coming out. Holding pens, putting the soil to the plow, harvesting of crops, milk or meat. Which animal give you milk?
Cow.
Where you get milk from?
Cow
Cow
Goat.
and goat.
and
And
goat.
those are all clean animals, right?
Yeah.
All right. One eats once the harvest is complete. Foodstuff is also another meaning, a substance that may be eaten for giving sustenance and making one whole. So the things that we are commanded to eat, it gives us sustenance and makes us whole. Are we whole now as a people?
No, sir.
No, because we are sick and we feel all different kind of pain and we go to the doctor and all of these things, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So clearly something is wrong with what we are
Eating.
because it is not giving us sustenance and it is not making us whole. And every Sabbath we pray before lunchtime and ask Yahweh to bless the food that is provided and let it be of sustenance to our body. But are we eating the right things?
I think so. In that fashion.
All right, we shall see. Anyways, eat in the concrete, food in the abstract. So through sustenance, one becomes whole and satisfied. That is why when you're hungry, you feel like you're good dead, and then as you eat, you revive, you get back your strength. Food provides sustenance. So the word okel is used 44 times in the Old Testament. It is used multiple times in Joseph's story in reference to grain. It is used 4 times in Exodus, once in reference to the Passover lamb, and 3 times in reference to manna. Notice the things that it is used in reference to in a virgin. The word food is used 44 times. Multiple times in Joseph's story, all in reference to grain, and we know that grain comes from tree, right? Where grain come from?
Plants.
Plants. It is used in reference to the Passover lamb. It is used 3 times in reference to manna, and we know that manna was fallen from heaven by Yahweh, it rained from heaven by Yahweh, and they said that when they were comparing it, they said so it tastes like some kind of seed or some kind of grain. In Deuteronomy 2, we see the Israelites requesting to buy food from the land of Seir, but ended up being denied. And after plundering the city, we see them only leaving with the cattle. So they went to buy food. People then tell them no. And so them go back and war them. And when them beat them up, they left with cattle. So it means that they went to buy what?
Cattle.
Cattle.
Meat.
In Ruth 2, verse 14, we see the word used in reference to bread and parched corn. We know all of that come from trees. Psalm 104, 27 and 145, 15 says, Yahweh give us our food in due season. We know what kind of food Yahweh give us. Psalm 107, 18 says, fools detest all manner of food. Proverbs 13, 23, much food is in the tillage of the poor. Tillage, we know that that is farming, right? So if you're farming to get your food, then it means that the food is plant. Lamentation 1:11 and 19. My people gave up the ghost while they sought food to restore their souls. So food give you sustenance. Joel 1:16 to 17. It is used in reference to seed, to storehouses, to barns, and corn. All of these are agricultural business, brethren. Habakkuk 3:17. The field shall yield no food. Field, so that's plant again. And then it mentions flocks, herds, and stalls. And we know what are flocks and herds: sheep and goat, cow and oxen. So let us look at Genesis 9, verse 3. That seemingly tricky verse. Watch it now. So he says, every creeping creature, remis, that lives is a food for you. I have given you all as I gave the green plants. You remember when he gave us the green plants in Genesis 1? And remember? And then Genesis 2, him said, all of the green plants that you can eat.
Yes.
And I already explained that to you and tell you that he would have given you the classification of green plants that fall under food, which would be the ones that have a seed.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yahweh is saying, in the same way how I gave you the green plants, is the same way I give you the creeping creatures to eat. But watch this now. And this is where English take the thing. So when you read it in the Hebrew, it reads like this, from right to left now. For food, akal, lakal, so lo, akal. For food, he is becoming, the higher, he is becoming. So I give you, to you, he is becoming to you, life. So for food, he is becoming to you life, which moving animal, every moving animal. So basically, this is saying the animals that you eat must be what to you? Or must give what to you?
Life.
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 The animals that you are eating must give life to you. That is what Genesis 9 verse 3 is saying. Every creeping creature that gives life is food for you. Every creeping creature that gives life is food for you. That is what it is saying. And we are going to get the classification, what creatures give life to us, what creatures fall under the classification of food. And that's a word for creeping creature. Remis, if you want to write it. This is the word for life. Look at it. Kai. Look at the ancient Hebrew. Live, concrete. Stomach. Where does food go?
Stomach, belly.
The stomach. Life. When the stomach is empty, one is famished and weak. And when it is filled, one is revived. This organ is seen as the life, as an empty stomach is like death, but a revived stomach is life. So the stomach, write that in your book. In Hebrew thought, in Hebrew culture, the stomach is the organ of life. Just like how we know that the heart is the seat of thought, and the heart and the mind are one and the same. The stomach is the organ of life. So it means stomach, literally the organ that holds food, but figurative of life. Sustenance in the abstract. The revival of life from food or other necessity. A food that revives life. Revive, quick, preserve life. Sustenance, bickle, recover, preserve life. And when it says recover, it means that if you are ill, you should be able to find something and eat, and you are restored. No, so
Yes.
Yeah.
and in order for you to have a long life without sickness, then you have to eat well, eat as prescribed by the Torah, and then you get this preservation of life, which is what food does. So if our lives are being preserved, then we're not eating right. So that is the Hebrew word for life, kai, every creeping creature that liveth, every creeping creature that preserves life, every creeping creature that sustains, every creeping creature that recovers, that revives you, that quickens your spirit, your ruach. So that is Genesis 9 verse 3. Let us go to the Torah. Now we all know these verses so well. Leviticus 11. Yahweh spoke to Moshe to Aaron, saying to them, speak to the children of Yisrael, saying, these are the living creatures. These are the which you eat. These are the kai. These are the creatures that gives life to you, which you eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. So in other words, I know every beast you eat, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So among the beasts that are on the earth, there are some that gives life to you, and those are the ones that you must eat, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever has a split off, completely divided, not just bottom part or in top part chip out. It's completely divided. When you look, you can look between it like how you can look between your toe them. And chewing the cud among the beasts that you do eat. And when you see it said that you do eat, can be that is a translator trying to make it sound good in English. It could be that Yahweh is saying that is food, because remember, this same word is the same word for food. Eat and food, same word. Now because you see them put okel, O-K-E-L, it's the same Hebrew letters. Aleph, Kaf, Lamet. So it could be that Yahweh was saying, the animal who has a split off and chews the cud among the beasts, those are food. Only these you do not eat among those that chew the cud are those that have a split off. The camel, because it chews the cud, but it does not have a split off, so it doesn't meet the two criteria to fall under the category of food. It is unclean to you. It is tame. That is the word for unclean. Tame. And the rabbit, because the rabbit chews the cud, but it does not have a split off. It is unclean. You notice them not use the word. You notice them not even say you must not eat it. Because no need to say that, because again, as I said, this word here means it is food. So I tell you, as I said, that is not food. So the word food not even coming at the sentence, brethren. I wonder if you notice it. The word food don't come in at the sentence when you're talking about the camel and when you're talking about the rabbit, because they are not food. They should not be on your table. They must go in on your plate. They must go in on your pot. None of it. The hare, because it chews the cud, but does not have a split off. It is unclean. The pig, though it has a split off, completely divided, it does not chew its cud. It is unclean. Their flesh you do not eat, and their carcasses you do not touch. They are unclean to you. So, brethren, if you can't touch the carcass, that means if you raise pig, you can't kill him. You know? You have to sell him live. Now, so you go.
Look interesting here.
Eh?
Look interesting.
Can't touch the carcass, and when you can't touch the carcass, you're not supposed to eat it, because you're supposed to kill and eat.
Mm-hmm.
These you do eat of all that are in the waters. So these are food which can be found in the water. Anyone that has fins and scales, so criteria again, fin and scale for the waterman. So the landman must have true cod, split off. Waterman must have fin, scale. In the seas or in the rivers that you do eat, that is food. You can eat them. From him have fin and scale, check him out. But all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, all that move in the waters, or any living being which is in the waters, they are an abomination to you. They are an abomination. Abomination is a very serious word, brethren. When you hear that word, you're supposed to open our eyes wide and pay attention. They are an abomination. They are an abomination to you. Of their flesh you do not eat, and their carcasses you abominate. Say dead crab, when name lobster, we don't touch them or something. All that have not fins or scales in the waters are an abomination to you. And these you do abominate among the birds, so the birds now. So Yahweh is basically saying, so when you come on to the birds, it is easier for you I to tell you the birds not to eat. than to tell you the birds to eat, because seemingly you have a whole heap of bird that you can eat. So the birds that you don't eat, the eagle, the vulture, we know the vulture as the jankro, the black vulture, the hawk, the falcon, the raven, the ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, the hawk after its kind, the little owl, the fisher owl, the great owl, the white owl, the pelican, the carrion vulture, the stork, the heron, the hoopoe, the bat, and all flying insects that creeps on all fours is an abomination to you. What do all of these birds have in common?
They all eat the dead bodies, carcasses and stuff
They
like
are
that.
scavenger birds.
Yeah.
They are scavenger birds. You don't eat those birds. And then him say, if you don't understand how the bird argument go, because some people are going to want to eat the drummer roach because him fly. So you was all flying insects that creeps on all fours. And by creep on all fours, it means that they run up and down and then take off flying. You don't eat them either. So we don't eat, we call them now roach and those guys. Only these you do eat of every flying insect. So what's the insect where you can eat now? Those which have jointed legs above their feet, with which to leap on the earth. So the one that will jump. Those are the ones you can eat. So you not eat roach, because roach no jump. Roach run up and down and then him fly. Some of them fly. These of them you do eat. The locust after his kind, and him tell you all kind of locusts, arbe, solam, hargul, hagab, whole heap of locusts. So we have a broad diet that we're not utilizing. But all of the flying insects which have 4 feet are an abomination to you. And by these you are made unclean. Anyone touching the carcass of any of them is unclean until evening. It's a reason why we as a people eat roach so like pies now and then touch your feet like you want to go bathe. You know the Torah, brethren. By these you are made unclean. Anyone picking up part of the carcass of any of them has to wash his garments and shall be unclean until evening. Every beast that has a split hoof not completely divided and does not chew its cud is unclean to you. Anyone who touches their carcass is unclean. Whatever goes on its paws. So once it have paws, 4 feet, among all the creatures that go on all fours, those are unclean. So once him have paw, you can't eat him, brethren. Give me some animal we have paw.
Cat and dog.
Cat and
Yeah.
dog.
You have raccoon.
Raccoon.
Where next on name? You have quite a few of them up here. Raccoon.
Whole heap of them. All right. And he who picks up their carcass has to wash his garments and shall be unclean until evening. They are unclean to you. These are unclean to you among the creeping creatures that creep on the earth. The mole, the mouse, so rat out of the argument to brethren. The tortoise after its kind. We can't eat turtle. People eat turtle and say it's nice. We don't have that luxury. The gecko, so we can't eat lizard, we can't eat the crocodile, we can't eat the sand reptile, we can't eat the sand lizard, we can't eat the chameleon, we can't eat the iguana, we can't eat the Komodo dragon.
What you say a while ago? Turkey?
I mean, that's a turkey. So
Okay.
crocodile and something.
Okay. Because
Anyways.
Man, a turtle him, say, man. A turtle.
Turtle.
Oh, you said turtle. Okay, good.
Yeah, turtle, because it's a tortoise here, so it's a turtle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Brush. These are unclean to you among all that creep. So we get the message, right? We get the classification in very detailed, that whole chapter. And we're going to look at the next chapter again, because it's 2 witnesses we have for it. Very detailed, what you can, what you can't eat. And we see it continue down into verse 47. Look at verse 46. This is the Torah, the instruction of the beasts and birds and every living being, the creeping creature in the waters, and of every being that swarms on the earth, to make a distinction between the unclean and the clean, and between the living creature that is eaten and the living creature that is not eaten. So unfair, because in Genesis, he told us the trees that fall under food and then tell us to eat. So we see now, we get clear instructions. Noah would have received this before as well. Because for Noah to have divided the animals into clean and unclean, then he must did get this, no so? Is that a
so.
reasonable
Yes,
deduction to make?
Yep.
All right. Deuteronomy 14. You are the children of Yahweh, your Elohim. Do not cut yourselves nor shave the front of your head for the dead, for you are a set apart people. Verse 3. Do not eat anything that is abominable. And you say, oh Yahweh, what is abominable? Don't worry yourself. These are the living creatures, the behemoth, which you do eat. Ox, sheep, goat, deer, gazelle, roebuck, wild goat, mountain goat, antelope, mountain sheep, and every beast that has a split hoof divided in two, chewing the cud among the beasts you do eat. See what something we can eat? Who in here ever eat gazelle and roebuck?
Not me.
Who ever eat antelope? You know someone eat cantaloupe, but you never eat antelope, don't?
No antelope.
Not even uncle we don't know.
Not even sister lope or brother lope.
But of those chewing the cud, or those having split hoof completely divided, you do not eat. Such as these, the camel, the hare, the rabbit, for they chew the cud but do not have a split hoof, they are unclean. And the pig is unclean for you because it has a split hoof, but it does not chew the cud. You do not eat their flesh. So they must meet both criteria or it cannot be eaten. You can't have half of the criteria and we eat half of you, don't?
Yeah.
So you must meet both for you to be seen or considered clean or to be considered food. Verse 9, these you do eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales you eat. Whatever does not have fins and scales, do not eat. It is unclean for you. Any clean bird you do eat, but these you do not eat. Eagle, vulture, red kite, falcon, buzzard, raven, ostrich, nighthawk, seagull, every hawk after its kind, little owl, great owl, white owl, pelican, carrion vulture, fisher owl, stark, heron, hoopoe, and bat. And every creeping insect that flies is unclean for you. They are not eaten. Same thing as we saw in Leviticus 11. So I'm going to point to some of these and you tell me if we can eat it, yes or no. What about Mr. Man here? Cat.
No, sir.
Why we can't eat him?
My pa.
My paw. What about this virgin here, the dog?
No.
Pa too.
Why?
Pa.
Paw. What about the horse?
No.
Why?
Don't drink cod.
You know, split off neither. This is not completely divided.
Right, that's true, yeah.
It's splitting, but it's not completely divided. So him not meet it, him have 0.5 out of 2 marks. So him worse can meet it. He worse than the pig. Duck, how about the duck?
Yeah, web foot. I don't know.
No, web foot.
Is that
Him good.
We don't see Torah say nothing about no web foot.
Yeah, we don't see Torah say nothing about no web foot.
We don't say nothing about web foot, so why we can't eat duck?
So it look like him
It
eating.
look like we can't eat duck. Look like we can't eat duck, you know, because the Torah no say nothing about web foot in a version. What duck eat?
Same thing what chicken eat.
But go check him out.
I think he said
Frog.
something about after its kinds. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, man, he said a hawk after its kind. And the ostrich. And the night hawk and the seagull. So duck, which kind duck fall on? You know, see none of them where we can say a duck.
Duck must fall on and eat fowl.
I go check out the duck team. What about the frog?
If that can eat, me not eating it, so I don't think so. I can eat.
That me know, me not name that same time.
What about the leopard?
That look like you can't eat neither because it have
Paw.
paw.
How about cow?
Eatable.
Yes, can eat.
What
Completely
about the
split.
elephant?
Nah.
Not at
No,
all.
you know, split none
No.
at all.
Negative.
What about the wolf?
Negative.
Paw.
Who's a negative?
Rhino?
So
No.
why the cow can eat? I don't hear why.
Why the cow can eat?
Because it completely split. I said it.
And
And
what
it's
The
else?
toe.
cord.
And him chew the cord, sorry.
Okay. What
Okay.
about this bird in here?
Oh, that hen.
And
We can't
Yeah.
eat.
yeah, man, you can eat a piece of it.
What about this man here?
Monkey man, no
Monkey.
son.
No.
This would come
So,
like you're eating your
so
own
why
self.
can't we eat N? Why can't we eat N? I don't. What's the qualification there?
There is no qualification for the bird other than if the bird is a scavenger. And now we assess so because based on the birds that are listed, we are saying that it's scavenger birds because a lot of scavenger birds are listed, but outside of that is no classification. It just tell you the ones that you can't eat and then it said the others are the clean birds.
Question again. When is a scavenger bird?
They
What?
eat dead body.
John Crow.
They eat dead things. That's what scavenger mean. Same thing for the lobster and the shrimp and they eat the dead. That's on the seafood and the crab.
So
does the chicken eat the chicken a scavenger bird?
No.
Not to my knowledge.
I don't want that.
You see the thing is,
Talk,
the
Brady,
thing
please
is,
talk.
hold on. We just hold on a minute. We just go through the lesson first and then we do that discussion at the end. So the rat.
No, sir.
Why?
Yeah, paw and furry.
So go to and speak now for it.
It doesn't chew the cud.
Don't chew cut. Animal paw. Pig.
Yeah, I'm a split foot.
My fit off, but in
But
don't
him
chew.
not chew the cord.
Okay. What about the camel? Because camel sound like good animal. Like,
Him
nice
chew
little
it cord,
animal.
but him not split off.
Oh.
It just close. It look like it's split, man.
What about goose?
Is
We
that
have to put him in the category with the duck to be decided, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Because him have the web feet. Raccoon. Well, we heard about the raccoon earlier. Miriam tell us about the raccoon with the paws. Penguin. We don't know, eh?
Look like he can't go on.
Look like he can go on, yes, because he wide apart too.
So go check them out. Some far out birds, some of them something not even need to feed them. Lion.
No, no.
No, sir,
Anything
lion.
we're not sure about, we just don't eat and call it a day.
That's the thing. Lion not ready yet.
Lion not paw that.
Lion have paw, bear have paw, sheep. How about the sheep?
Sheep ready for eat.
Split
Long
off
time.
and chew it cord.
Okay. What about the giraffe? What do you think about the giraffe?
No, I don't know if it's giraffe chewing cutting about me. No, he ain't off split, but
Giraffe. Chewy cut the
Him
giraffe.
chewing cord, of course, because when him a eat off a tree, he hoof splits it there.
If we get one giraffe, we have him till next year. Still I eat him same.
We roast him.
We do one leg per Sabbath and then we continue down the line. What about the gorilla?
the gorilla look like a honey.
And then you have an animal named llama. He could have passed like he could have eaten when you see him.
He not completely split.
He one favor like sheep cousin, but it not completely split. Very good. Very good. How about donkey? Because we have so much donkey around the place here.
No, sir.
Can't eat the donkey, why?
Well,
Then I say he not split.
No split.
It's
Don't
split, but he
completely
not
split.
completely split.
It's not complete split enough for you.
if any other animal is hesitant on, me know the donkey is for sure cannot be eaten because the scripture tells us if you have a donkey, a firstborn donkey, it must be where the word
Ransom.
ransom with something else. if you don't ransom him, you're supposed to kill him and throw
Broken
him
neck.
away. Yeah, so that definitely cannot eat. That definitely is unclean.
Which brings us into the next subtopic, which is the temple of Yahuwah. So Miriam just alluded to a reason why the donkey cannot be eaten. And the reason is because the donkey cannot be offered on the altar in Israel. It must be ransomed with a sheep, because the sheep can be offered. So the donkey cannot be eaten because it is not fit for sacrifice. And if you're not fit for sacrifice, you are not fit for consumption. Why is that so? That is so because we as individuals, we as Yisrael, are the temple of Yahuwah.
Right.
So the consumption of food by mankind is a serious matter that has wreaked havoc on the world since the beginning. Whether we believe it to be figurative or literal eating, the significance remains. The physical mirrors the spiritual. Note well, whatever is unclean for consumption or offering on the altar to Yahuwah is also unclean for consumption in the body for us. Whatever is clean for consumption or for offering on the altar to Yahuwah is clean for consumption for us. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians 3, 16 to 17. Do you not know that you are a dwelling place? You are a temple of Elohim, and that the spirit of Elohim dwells in you. So if you are a temple of Elohim, and Elohim's temple have certain specifications for what is offered on it, then do you think you should be careful in what you offer in your temple when you eat?
Yes.
If anyone destroys the temple of Elohim, Elohim shall destroy him. Isn't that what is happening to us now? We are eating nastiness and destroying the temple. And so Elohim is destroying us and we are dying with every waking moment that we live.
Yeah.
For the temple of Elohim is set apart, which you are. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 to 20. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the set apart spirit, which is in you, which you are from Elohim, and you are not your own? For you were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify Elohim in your body and in your spirit, which are of Elohim. 1 Peter 2:5, just showing you that the spiritual and the physical are the same. 1 Peter 2:5. You also, as living stones, are being built up a spiritual house, a set apart priesthood, to offer up spiritual offerings acceptable to Elohim through Yahushua Mashiach. So we are a temple. John 2:19 to 21. Yahushua answered and said to them, destroy this temple. When he said destroy this temple, what was he speaking of? And in 3 days I shall raise it. His body.
His body.
His body. Then the Jews said, it took 46 years to build this temple, and you are going to raise it in 3 days. So they did not understand what he was speaking of. But he spoke about the temple of his body. So our body is a temple. Romans 12, verse 1. I call upon you, therefore, brothers, through the compassion of Elohim, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, set apart and acceptable to Elohim, which is our reasonable worship. How can we present our bodies as a living sacrifice? You have to eat the right things,
Eat the right things.
And we know that it is not just limited to that, but that is the topic we're focused on today. We know that you have to keep the Torah, and that is eating right is a part of keeping the Torah, but we're just honing in on this avenue for tonight. Ephesians 2:18 to 22. Because through him we both have access to the Father by one Spirit. So then you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens of the set apart ones and members of the household of Elohim, having been built upon the foundation of the emissaries, the prophets, Yahushua Mashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building, being joined together, grows into a set-apart dwelling place, a temple in Yahuwah, in whom you also are being built together into a temple of Elohim in the Spirit. So we are Yahuwah's temple. Now, my brothers and sisters, I had a very stressful week. I did not go to work on Tuesday. And I was putting this presentation together and I came across some information. And it shook my heavens. You know, like when a man burn some weed, first time in his life, shake up him heavens and him just smash up. Yeah. I came across some things and I say again, I will have to come and mash up the members of this assembly life. But such is our life and such is what we are now accustomed to. So the pig's meat, there's something about the pig's meat, brethren, with us as a people, in our history, there's something about the pig's meat that Mastima seemingly, and I say seemingly for the skeptics, but for me, it is one of Mastima's number one or primary weapons against the Asherah, the pig's meat. The pig's meat. And we're going to prove it from scripture first, and then we're going to conclude. The pig's meat. That old dirty meat. Trenton.
Why?
Daniel 1. The king appointed for them a daily ration of the king's food. So Daniel is in Babylon with the Hebrew boys. Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
Remember this.
4 of them. King said, all right, all of you are going to get from my plate, from my table. Now among them were the sons of Yehuda, Daniel, Hananiah, or Kananyahu, Mishael, and Azariah. But Daniel laid it up on his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's food. Now, if Daniel used the word defile, do you believe that the king was cooking fish and chicken and sheep and goat, brethren?
No.
Anybody else? Do you think that the
No,
king was
can't say
cooking oxtail or stew beef? And Daniel said he would not defile himself with the king's food. I believe the king was cooking some Trenton, brethren. Pig meat, the old pork, ham, Christmas dinner. And Daniel said, And I want to get to a point for me personally. You see, when you see how the Torah is very specific that if you come near to these things, then you're defiled and you're unclean for the days and all of these things. I want it to get to a point where, and it's probably going to get to a point where you don't eat on the road because you can't trust anybody. And if pork and all of these unclean things are made in that environment, even if you're not eating it directly, but it is cooked in the pot before and the pot wash and then them, are the same unclean if you ask me, brethren. It's sad, but it is the reality. Anyways, we're going to continue reading.
Leviticus said that too.
Yeah, man. With when the unclean thing drop in your pot and whatever. So it's a very serious thing, and I came across it in the week and I said, this is going to mash up our life. For those of us who really care and who are really trying to keep this Torah, it's going to mash up your life. I'm going to tell you from now. Right? We don't mash it up but the things that we are used to, we know it already. It's going to be a huge change.
Let me testify this. For the past 7 to 8 months now, the Ruach like forbid me to eat food outside the street. And it gave me this courage and this vim and this vibes and this energy to go into my kitchen and to prepare my food for myself. It also forbid me to go to the meat place in the store to buy meat from them. So my desire now, because I have seen where in which they are putting the pork, putting the unclean stuff on the same scale, weighing using the same knife, using all of these things.
Same knife, cut it, same machine, cut them up.
Right. I am a person who love, when I come in this country, I love what they call it, the subway thing. And when I see how they handle the food with the same gloves, and somebody said they want the pork and their sandwich, and they use the same gloves to pick up the the vegetable and to put it on the sandwich and all of these things, it contaminates the vegetable. And so I don't eat the Subway anymore. I stay away from all of these things. So I am like on that trend right now, not to be eating outside the street.
Yeah. They kind of set it up different in Jamaica for the Subways too. I don't trust them anyways, but when you look at them, the vegetable is first. So every time they share, they change the glove. So they do the vegetable first and then they go to the meat. They put the meat that the person requests and then they take off that glove and then they serve you afterwards. But everything at around the backyard, I still not trust them same. So I am getting to the point now where I only eat at Island Grill. I want to only eat at Island Grill because Island Grill don't cook anything that we're not supposed to eat. It's just a chicken and vegetable. So
They're not the shrimp.
No, they don't do shrimp.
Wow.
Fish and chicken them cook.
Yeah, Murphy, you were saying?
Yeah. I was gonna give you a story. That my mom, she went to a farm recently because she wanted to get some meat to cook dog food, right? And when she went to the chicken, it was a fowl farm, and she realized that how the guys were killing the chicken, they were taking the chicken and they were drowning the chicken instead of cutting off the head and draining out the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And when my mom was asking why they do that, they were saying like it was easier it's less work.
Yeah.
So they drown the chicken instead of cutting off the head to drain out the blood.
Yeah,
So
that means the blood, they dead with the blood in him.
To the blood
no leak
inside.
out.
Exactly. So even that is something to consider and is a jar concern. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Even at Jamaica Brothers, I know someone who works there and said the way they kill them, they use something and hit them in the head.
The chicken?
Yeah.
You know, they used to do that to the bigger animals like the cow and the Trenton. We never know they do chicken that.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to get back to the lesson. All of this discussion is afterwards. Isaiah 65. So the people who provoke me continually to my face, Yahweh speaking, who slaughter in gardens and burn incense on slaughter places of brick, who sit among the burial sites and spend the night in secret places, who eat flesh of pigs, and the broth of unclean meat is in their pots. Broth is soup, brethren. You know, people like them soup with the whole mix up. So Yahweh is burning out the pig meat and the soup pot with the whole heap of different meat them. With the whole heap of different unclean meat. This is a clear scripture from Isaiah forbidding the pig meat. Why him single out the pig meat? Yahweh does nothing by chance. Isaiah 66. But whoever slays the bull, verse 3, strikes a man. Whoever slaughters the lamb breaks a dog's neck. Whoever brings a grain offering, pig's blood. Whoever burns incense blesses an idol. Indeed, they have chosen their own ways, and their being delights in their abomination. I wonder if you understand what's taking place there.
No, I'm not get that one.
Yahweh said, whosoever slays the bull, and kill a man too. So he matter about the unrighteousness of Israel. Whoever slaughters a lamb, him break a dog's neck. So he must slaughter one dog too. Whoever brings a grain offering, pig blood involved in it. The pure nastiness Yahweh is saying are going to the place otherwise. Whoever burns incense, blesses an idol. So the man who come to burn incense, he might burn it in the name of an idol. So all of them activities where you think righteous, some nastiness is behind. So him say, indeed they have chosen their own way because you can't carry dog come from my altar, brethren. You can't carry pig blood come from my altar. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword Yahweh shall judge all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. Look at the slain of Yahweh now. Those who set themselves apart and cleanse themselves at the gardens after one in the midst, eating flesh of pigs, and the abomination and the mouse are snatched away together, declares Yahweh. See the rapture there? Look who get rapture. Man who eat the pig flesh, the slain of Yahweh. Maccabees, First Maccabees 1 verse 44.
Oy.
For the king had sent books by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. And laws are strange, brethren. What's strange about them? They forbid ascending smoke offerings. They forbid sacrifices. They forbid drink offerings in the temple. And that they should profane the Sabbaths and feast days and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. They set up altars and Asherah poles and chapels of idols, and they sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. So the pig meat involved again. And I'm just going to show you in the next few slides, and then we finish, how Mastema goes to work with the pig meat, and he's still doing it today in a more subtle way. The book of Maccabees, to provide context, is an account of Israel in another situation of captivity. I think it was Greek captivity between Media Persia and Greece. So it's that period between Malachi and Matthew, that gap, that big gap that you always hear about. The book of Maccabees is between that period. So Israel is in captivity here, and these are the things that they went through. Let us look at 2 Maccabees chapter 6, starting at verse 18. Eleazar now, one of the principal scribes, and when you hear scribe, you know, so this man here is big man in Israel, right?
Yeah.
Big man, big position, well-respected man, learned man, and when you hear scribe, you know that is a Torah man, because this man write the Torah, virgin, so him know it. He was an aged man, so put his position and his age, you know that this is a respected person. And he was of a well-favored countenance. He was constrained to open his mouth. What constraint mean?
Not talking anything.
No, sir. What constraint
Turn
mean?
him up or have him bound or something.
Unable to move, hold on.
He was forced. Constraint. Restrain means to them bound you. Constraint means that you are forced. So he was forced to open his mouth. Then hold him. You know when you hold somebody jaw can and squeeze it, and they have to open their mouth. So
Yes,
he was forced to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. So them come with the fork, with the Trenton on it, and they say Lazarus or Eleazar. Big man in Israel in a brethren. In captivity, you know, respected man in there. If you can't get this man here to eat this meat, you know, brethren. Probably the people them are going to follow and say, go.
Yes, yes.
You hold on rush and squeeze him out and put piece of Trenton in his mouth and you see him try it and swallow it. Then probably the assembly follow him. So he was forced to eat swine's flesh. But he show you how this thing here is serious, because we see it as nothing. What if you eat it one time? But he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, he spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment him. Spit it out, and he said to them, say, "Una have to kill me," and he walk over to the man who have the cutlass to cut off him head, because I will not eat it. As it behooved them to come, that are resolute to stand out against such things, as are against the Torah for love of life, to be tasted. So it is saying here that you have some who are not so strong, and them love them life, them run go eat. But some man resolute and say, "Me not eating it, because it is against the Torah, and I will not regard my life in this instant. Take the life and let it be." 21. But they that had charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. Wonder if you don't understand what I'm going to say. Some
Yes,
of the
man.
man them.
Yes, man.
Some of the man them who supposed to kill him, respect him. Because he's a respected man, he's a scribe and he's an old man. You have some man, even though them come from the other nation, them have respect and manners and them think they're the elders. And they respected Elazar. So them carry him go one side and them say, General, we will carry a piece of goat come. You are picky goat. When I bought them from around at the temple, and we are pretend they are pork and you eat it because we can't manage to them kill you. So them are try to give him a way out. So them say we are going to pretend, we are going to fake it. So everybody are going to feel like it's pork you eat, but me and you know say it's goat. That in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, so him start sit down and him meditate and him say, but wait. And as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his grey head, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy Torah made and given by Elohim. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straight ways to send him to Sheol. He said, no, send me to my grave. He said, no pretending in my thing, brethren. Send me to my grave. For it becomes not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Elazar, being 80 years old and 10, that are 90, were now gone to a strange religion. The man said, listen, if I am supposed to do this and fake it, young persons from Yisrael will see and they will believe and they will follow. And even though I would wash my hands clean, I would be guilty of them doing it. Even though I did not eat it, but everybody will think that I ate it and they will follow, and I will be guilty of setting a bad example. Because they will say that I am gone to a strange religion. And so they, through my hypocrisy now, and desire to live a little time and a little moment longer, they will be deceived by me, and I must now get a stain on my old age and make it abominable. For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of El Shaddai. So I might escape. Uno French chop off my head now. But me cannot escape El Shaddai, neither alive nor dead. Him say, whether me alive or me dead, me cannot escape him. Yahweh. Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will show myself such one as my age requires, and leave a notable example to such as be young, to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy Torah. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. They're not even have a drive. He walk over there to go there. And I'll give you one last story. Many stories like this in the book of Maccabees, but I'll just pick two and we'll run through them and finish. Chapter 7 of 2nd Maccabees. Yeah. It came to pass also that 7 brothers with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the Torah to eat pig's meat, and were tormented with scourges and whips. So what is it about the pig meat, brethren? Why don't want if you eat the pig meat? Anybody can tell? You don't understand.
It was their number one dish.
No, sir, bigger than that.
They want to defile the people.
You have to defile the people, brethren. You have to defile the people. It's mass steamer. Long time the pig have come out. Serious business. Watch this now. But one of them being one of the brothers that spoke first, said this: what would you ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the Torah of our fathers. So what you find is that when you're at work or when you're in these social spaces with persons who are not like-minded people, and you tell them that, oh no, I don't eat that, so it's fine. And they say, why you don't eat it? And they say it's not commanded by the Creator in the Bible. They come up with some Pharaoh situation. They say, so if you're on an island and you're dying for hunger, and it's just one pig on the island, you're not going to eat it and save your life? What should be your answer after reading the book of Maccabees?
No.
Dead.
Dead. I choose death. than dishonor.
Dead and done.
Mm-hmm.
So these people don't understand these things, and that's why they come up with these excuses. We are Yisrael, we know better, and so we have the living examples here. So the man said, we are ready to die rather than to transgress the Torah of our fathers. Then the king now, being in rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spoke first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brothers and his mother looking on. So while they were cutting out his tongue from his mouth, his mother and his mother 6 brothers looking on, and they cut off the utmost parts of his body. I would think that those were his hands and his feet. All of this being done while he was alive. Now when he was thus maimed meaning that they took off all of his members meaning the hands, the foot. He commanded him being yet alive to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, Yahuwah Elohim looks upon us, and in truth has comfort in us. As Marsha in his song, which witness to their faces declared, saying, He shall be comforted in his servants. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin off his head with the hair, they asked him, Will you eat before you be punished throughout every member of your body? So they killed the first brother. Now they get to the second one. And they hold him here and they pull it until the scalp come off with the hair. So everything gone off him head. So all you're seeing is now is blood. And they said to him, say, all right, you can't stop here saying, I'm a boss. All you have to do, eat the meat. And we don't go any further. Your ear will grow back, your skin will grow back, and your ear will grow back. But he answered in his own language and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did, as the first brother did. So 2 brothers dead now, 5 left. When he was at the last gasp, he said, You like a fury take us out of this present life. But the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his Torah, unto everlasting life. And when he was at, and after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands, manfully. So when the third brother come with his tongue long out, and the man them stretch out, him say, cut them off. Nobody already talking. Too much talking, me not eat it. So just do what you have to do. Cut out the tongue, cut off the hand, let's get it over with. Because I'm not going to eat. And he said courageously, These I had from heaven, the hands and the tongue and the feet. And for his Torah I despise them. And from him I hope to receive them again. So cut them off and go on with them. So much so that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains. Now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, It is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from Elohim to be raised up again by him. As for you, you shall have no resurrection to life. So the man a smart virgin and say, You can't kill me, I would kill that. But Elohim will go kill you, that you're supposed to worry about. Yahusha said the same thing, right? Fear not the man who can kill this body, but the man who can raise it up and kill. That's how you go. Man who can kill body and soul. Now that Yahusha said, brethren?
Yeah.
And these men lived before Yahusha and they said the same thing. Verse 15. Afterward they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Mangled mean, you know, what mangled mean? Mangled is the word they use to describe when a lion devours an animal or a human being. Tear him up. Thank you. When a crocodile dismember people and carry go dash you all about, them call it mangled. So that's what they are doing to these boys. Then looked he unto the king and said, You have power over men. You are corruptible. You do what you will. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of Elohim. But abide a while, and behold his great power, how he will torment you and your seed. After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, Be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our Elohim. Therefore, marvelous things are done unto us. So the sixth one take the power from the king. Him say, listen, I know you want to do this. And we sin against Elohim, make you can do this. So I know no strength where you have, so relax yourself. But think not that take in hand to strive against Elohim, that you shall escape unpunished. But the mother was marvelous above all, and she was worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons killed within the space of one day, she bore it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in Yahuwah. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, she said unto them, I cannot tell how you came into my womb, she's speaking to her sons. For I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. But doubtless the Creator of the world, who formed the generation of man, and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as you now regard not your own selves for his Torah's sake. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised, and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, while the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and a happy man if he would turn from the Torah of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with his affairs. Sound like Mastima with Yahusha. But when the young man would in no case listen unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, the woman started laugh, spoke in her country language on this manner. O my son, have pity upon me that bore you 9 months in my womb, and gave you such 3 years, and nourished you, and brought you up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech you, my son, look upon the heavens and the earth, all that is therein, and consider that Elohim made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this torment, but being worthy of your brothers, take your death, that I may receive you again in mercy with your brethren. Very powerful statement, she said. Take your debt, because when you take it like this, I will get you again in the next life. Very, very powerful statement. We have to ensure that our children are righteous, else you will not receive them in the next life. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, What do you wait for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the Torah that was given unto our fathers by Moshe. And you that have been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hand of Elohim. For we suffer because of our sins, and though the living Yahuwah be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. But you, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up your hand against the servants of Elohim. For you have not yet escaped the judgment of El Shaddai, who sees all things. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under Elohim's covenant of his everlasting life. So you want to die under the covenant of everlasting life. But you, through the judgment of Elohim, shall receive just punishment for your pride. But I, as my brothers, offer up my body and life for the Torah of our fathers, beseeching Elohim that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that you by torments and plagues may confess that he alone is Elohim, and that in me and my brothers the wrath of El Shaddai, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. Then the king, being in a rage, handled him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked. So this man died undefiled, and put his whole trust in Yahweh. And last of all, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures. So this is what our ancestors went through for us to know, be here, eating pig meat. All of that because of the pig meat. So you tell me now. Question to end the study. How serious is it that we adhere, that we stick, that we cling, that we obey, that we abide by the food laws found in Torah, in Genesis, in Leviticus 11, in Deuteronomy? How serious is it?
Seems serious than we thought.
As serious as to lose our life for it.
You know, to top it all off, I was just here thinking that all of this focus on the pig meat, right? When you think of the list of unclean things, it's not limited to pig, but there's just something about pig meat that is just used by the devil even more to pull in people. And just something is definitely wrong. And this is Maccabees is before Yahusha's casting evil rocks into pigs and sending them into water. So that means it's long before that. So I don't know, it's just serious.
I am going to now show you how serious it is. And to show you that I am not a conspiracy theorist, no. I just come across these things. I would like to think from the revelation of the rock. So there is this product called gelatin. Gelatin is a protein made from animal collagen, primarily sourced from the skin, bones, and connective tissues of animals like cows, pigs, and fish. Cows, pigs, and fish, right?
Yes.
Right.
Right.
But you see pig in it, you know, so trouble. It is mainly made from pig though. Watch this now. And I'm not going to go too far into it because I said it's a part of your homework. Look here. Just a few products that contain gelatin. Gummy candy, so the gummy bear, the, what you call it, the snake, the worm, all of them look a chewy one there. Gelatin. The dessert, them, the yogurts, and all of those things that we love to eat, and them something that we give the baby them. Gelatin. Marshmallow, chewing gum. I mean, love bubble gum. Gelatin. Cream cheese, gelatin. So those pastries with the cream cheese and all those something there. Jello, gelatin. Ice cream, gelatin. The pills, and by pills we're talking about your medications from your doctors and your pharmacies. That's why your pharmacy is a sign. Stick a pin. Look at the pharmacy sign. Serpent on the stick. Greek word for witchcraft in the Bible, pharmakeia. That's where you get your pharmacy from. I don't make up these things, brethren. Anyways, so your pills, gelatin, pork, soups and sauces, so all of those ramen, cup soup, the icing on your cake, all of those cake icing, gelatin. And if I ever continue on a drop down in here tonight, believe me, you would not believe how much pork we are consuming. And it is by design. The other day when I was looking at it, I had a ramen in the house. I take it out and I start to read the bag. And on the bag it says, this product is manufactured in an environment where crustaceans are processed. You know what are crustaceans? Crab, lobster, shrimp. I mean, I have to just shake my head, Bridget. You would not like to know. And there's this other thing where them call cricket powder. But in enough of the product them too. It is made from crickets. And this thing here is a rabbit hole. I guarantee you, if you go down this hole, you're not coming back out anytime soon. To start researching these products and what these things are actually made from. So, in the interest of time, we're going to stop there. We're going to stop the recording. We can have a discussion afterwards. And then I'll show you the homework. But this is a very serious, extremely serious. I can't stress it enough. Extremely serious topic. And if we were never serious before about growing and producing our own food, then this should ignite the fire that is required for us to make the steps to having that done. Because we can't trust anybody, Bridget. We can't trust none of the manufacturers. We can't trust none of our neighbors right now. It's going to get to a point where if we can't get the chicken from Brady, me not going to bother eat the chicken. It's just going to have to get to a point like that. And we just eat goat because we know so we're going to kill it ourselves. But as Miriam said with the beef, the other day we go buy beef for market, and I think it's the same machine we then use and cut it pork. I think about I see a machine cut it beef. It can't be going forward. I don't know about you. I can only speak for myself. This shake me heavens, and it put me in a really thought-provoking state in the week. And I was so stressed. And I felt so bad because I could not believe how much pork I was consuming, thinking that I was pork-free. And it is very sad. Extremely sad. But that is where we stop for this evening.